I would campaign for councils to be able to borrow to build. I think it's outrageous that Boris has sold off sites like New Scotland Yard entirely for luxury developments. I would insist on 50% social housing. I don't believe in building on the green belt like David's one thing we differ on. But I do know there are 11 tube stations and railway stations in the green belt, and I would build around them.
OK, let's go back to our caller. Sarah, whose answer did you find most convincing there, Sarah?
To be honest, it's easy to say these things, but the reality is, when I went to my local council, the lady practically told me to move out of my local borough. So they can see they're building these homes, but how will they prioritise? Who will they give priority to? What criteria would they look at? Because the number of people that are waiting for homes will exceed supply by thousands and thousands. So who can guarantee that they will build enough homes for people like me?
Can I just come back on that?
So just one second. This is interesting because in the 1950s, under the Harold Macmillan government, he built 300,000 homes a year. Now, we're not suggesting that's possible in London. I don't know what proportion of those were in London, but isn't there a remarkable lack of ambition across the parties on this, David?
I totally agree with that. That's the point. We're moving to a 10 million city. This is not the time for quangos. This is not the time to speculate about prudential borrowing. It's the time to actually be able to at least say how much you would borrow to actually properly build. So that's why, quite rightly, people are being squeezed. There's chronic overcrowding, homelessness, and our party, as well as the Conservatives, went into the last election with policy that was too timid. That's why I've been bold on housing, started this in September, and made it the #1 issue in this campaign.
Very quickly.
On this, Sarah, we need to have not just local authorities building more homes and housing associations, but the mayor as well. We need more homes built in London. There's no other way of addressing the housing crisis, but also we've got to fix the rental market. Almost half of Londoners now have private rental accommodation. We've got to fix that as well.
But the other thing is, why, Tessa, were you pushing for those super casinos? Actually, people fought back and you weren't able to have as many as you wanted. But why were you pushing for super casinos?
Please.
I mean, first of all, the Gambling Act, as I said.